Alright guys, let's try to regroup here on this. I tried a USB drive, and I think there's something wrong with this drive. It's a 500 gig, and I'm not understanding why all these drives are no good anymore. You can't get no good stuff anymore. The hard drive that's in it is a Mac Store, and it's an old drive. And but I left off on the last video having to replace the CD-ROM. The CD-ROM that came with it was bad. I didn't say anything to him because, hell, I only paid $75 for this computer. I can't really complain about too much. And I had a CD or a DVD drive in my other one that came out of here, so I just changed it over. Plus, he's a nice guy, and I don't want to piss him off because I like him. And he's a good source of computer parts, and he's really, really close. So I'd just rather pay $10 or $15 for a new drive and have a source for computer parts and a friend. Plus, he wants me to do some work for him in the future. So anyway, we did get Windows 7 on it, and God, I wish I could put XP back on this thing. I like XP. But what we're going to do, I did get it installed, and I'm going to try putting a terabyte drive in there. I've got this one, and it's a cheap eBay bought hard drive, and I'm going to try to put this one in and reinstall Windows on it. But before I do, I'm going to hook it up as drive D as slave, and just make sure that it works properly before I go taking this drive out. Actually, you know what? Let's just go on and do that. Let's just take this one out. And we'll just put this one in. They're pretty simple to change. And we'll slide that one in. Hook our power up to it. And get our disk, because we're going to have to reinstall Windows 7 on it again. Now, this thing should be reading. And see, it's reading. Normally it's supposed to come up with hit spacebar to start, but this one didn't do that. The reason we're doing this, it worked with this old antique drive, and there's supposed to be dates on these things to tell you when they were made, but I don't see a date on this thing. But it was running really slow, and it just spent an awful lot of time thinking, you know, because you could hear the disc clicking, the click, click, you know, as it was thinking. and it just ran really slow. So this is just a, like I said, 160 gig hard drive, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This one right here, and it's pretty old. You know, it's even got the Molex connector on it, and your pin settings, and then your SATA. It's pretty old. If it's got that Molex connector on it, it's a pretty old machine. So now we've got our screen up, and I'm going to try to reposition you guys, and we're going to try to walk through setting up Windows. It's a little bit more of a pain in the ass, simply because we got to do the call-in thing. That's why I hate Windows 7, man. They act like it's top secret, and you can't just buy software anymore and install it and use it. Now you got to walk through mazes, jump through hoops, and kiss their ass. It's a pain in the ass. So I've already done this once on the other hard drive, so now we got to do it again. So now we got the Windows 7 install up. We're going to choose English, time and currency format English, United States, and keyboard and input method USA. We're going to hit next, and now we're going to install Windows 7. And this actually is running pretty fast now. But that hard drive had some issues for some reason on my other computer, so I'm not sure what's going on with it. Alright. Yes, accept the license agreement. I've never seen anybody not, because if they don't get nothing. It'll just say, bite me, and and not install nothing. So now we're going to hit next, and we're going to hit custom, and we're going to use that drive. It's 931.5 gigabytes, which is a 1 terabyte drive. It never reads the full one. 10,000, I think it's 10,000, but anyway, we're going to hit next, and now it's copying. This is the part that takes the most time, so we'll just speed you through this process. In fact, you know what? We're not going to speed you through this process. We're going to show you the bandsaw. Now, as everybody remembers, on this setup that I have with the treadmill controller, when you shut it off, you have to actually set your your potentiometer back to 0, then turn it on, and then start again to get your setting. Well, that's not going to work for me. But the only reason for this demonstration is to show you that it does work the way I intend to do it. And we're going to redo this in the next video. We're going to reconfigure everything. We're not going to use the treadmill controller. I've got another controller coming for it, and we're going to go a different route. We're going to eliminate that having to reset the potentiometer back to 0, because I want to be able to set my control panel to where it is and leave it and never have to touch it again, so that way the only thing I have to do the next time I need to use it is just raise it, flip it on, and when it goes down, it goes off. When you need to cut your next piece, you just flip this on, cut your next piece, just like it was before with the AC motor. So but this is just to demonstrate that it's going to work just fine with the new setup. and I'll try to go through everything you need to do this and the part numbers and put them in the description in the next video on this bandsaw. So let's get to the demonstration while we're waiting on Windows to install. So before I start, I have to put my stuff back on here. I had to take it off to get to the switch. So we're going to put this back in. Alright, now we can put us a piece of metal in here, and we'll just take this and use it for test purposes. And then I'll just bring my blade down, get it set where I want. And then I flip my switch. Alright, then I'll flip the switch up at the control panel to on. I've got my potentiometer down to 0. Now I'll raise it just a little bit. Now I won't have to do this when I get the new setup. Alright, now we'll go ahead and cut. It's a lot quieter than it used to be. That other motor was loud. And looky there, it shut itself off. So now we've got the setup right. Now we just need to change the components. We're going to eliminate the treadmill controller, and we're going to put a different potentiometer in it so that it doesn't have to go so far. See, right now I think I've got too big, it's too heavy of a potentiometer. So I've got a 200 watt or 200 ohm potentiometer coming for it, and we're going to try that. Now we'll try different values and get it the way we want it. I can't wait till my surgery, man. I think I got like 10 more days. So we're just going to change stuff around a little bit. Now the other setup that I have, we'll never have to change that potentiometer. Once I set it where I need it and the way I like it to run, then we never have to touch the potentiometer again unless we wanted it to run faster. But wherever you set it, no matter where you set it, you flip that switch, it's going to start right immediately. So I never have to touch the control panel. I just reach this up, get my work set, flip this switch here on, and go on. Once it's done, it flips it off, and you're done. Simple as that. I think this is going to be a pretty decent setup. Now, another thing I was kicking around is I would like for the bandsaw to be self-contained. So I want to try to figure out a way to mount all the controls to the bandsaw itself so that we don't have all these wires hanging. Everything's right here. If I ever want to sell this, they don't have to mess with a separate control panel, none of that. So we're going to try to see if we can make us some kind of a control panel to put on the bandsaw somewhere. I don't know where we'll put it, but we'll find some place to put it. I don't know. I mean, we got this area here. I don't know if I can use this. We can also take the controls and put here somewhere. Maybe we can mount it to the motor somewhere, or the bracket for the motor. I don't know yet. Whatever I do, it's got to look good. It's got to look professional. So we don't know how this is going to end. So anyway, there is the test on the Northern Tools bandsaw. So let's go over here and see what we got going on with the pooter. Alright, we are at 96%. And once we get through that part, we'll show you the next part. Alright guys, now it's starting Windows. I've gotten through the that installation process. Alright, so now it's setup is preparing your computer for first use. Checking video performance. Which eventually needs to be upgraded to a better video card. So now we get to type in the name of the computer, and we're going to call this computer Bison. And shop. That way we know if we get on the network or something later on down the road, we'll know that this is the one that's in the shop. So now we will hit next. Alright, we don't want a password, so we're going to hit next. Now we're going to take the automatically activate Windows when I'm online, and we're going to type in our CD code, and once I've got that typed in, we'll restart this video because that's a private number. I don't want everybody knowing it. Alright, I've got my CD key typed in. Now we're going to go and use recommended settings, and we're going to change that to Eastern Time, US and Canada. Today's the 11th, Saturday. Time appears to be correct. And we'll hit next. You want to make sure automatically adjust clock for daylight savings time is clicked or checked. Alright. And we're just going to do public network. That usually is the fastest way, because I'm hooked up to my network card, so with a cord, so don't really matter. I'm not using Wi-Fi. Now if this all goes well, when it's set up, it should say Windows is genuine. Alright, so now we've got our computer set up. Now let's go and check and see if it's genuine. So we're going to go to Control Panel. and we're going to change our category to large icons. Well, let's try small icons. Alright, no, I like large icons. Alright, so now we're going to go down to System. Alright, for some reason my CD key didn't activate it. I don't understand why. There's no point in having a CD key if it ain't going to activate my Windows, so we need to find out what's going on with that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and call and do the activation that way, and then I'm going to investigate why my CD key is not working. Let me try change product key and put the one on the computer sticker. I've never been successful at getting these keys to work that's on the computer. Now this is Windows 7 Pro, so we're going to try that key. We'll be back. Alright, what I've done, I've changed the key to the one that's actually on the computer itself, on the sticker. I've never been successful at that, but it says the product key is being verified. This might take a few minutes, and I'm recording this just in case we have a problem. I have documentation as to what's going on. I bet you it comes back and says can't be validated. Oh, wow. Alright, it worked. Well, daggone. Well, at least now I know what key to use for this computer. Alright, so now we're going to close this out. And now, well, let's open that back up there a minute. Let's see something here. Alright, what we have here is a Intel Core 2 Duo CPU E8400, 3 gigahertz. We got 4 gigs of RAM, 64-bit operating system, and this might make a pretty nice machine for the Bison workshop, and it is genuine. So now we want to close this out, and I'm going to right click on my desktop, and we're going to personalize this screen, and we're going to go to display, and we're going to change display setting, and we're going to move this up 1 mark and see what that gets us. Keep changes. Now the way I test my resolution is usually a rule of thumb for me is if I go to my control panel and all my icons are shown without me having to scroll, then it's set pretty good. So we need to go 1 more. So we're going to close that. We're going to right click, personalize, and we're going to go to display, and we're going to change display settings, and we're going to click that 1 more time and move it up to 1152 by 864, and we're going to apply, and we're going to keep changes. Okay, close. Then we're going to go back to control panel, and we're going to hit right there. They are, all of them there, so I don't have to scroll down no more. That's pretty much a rule of thumb for me. Once I get that where it's at, I'm good. I don't want to go too far with it because then it gets to the point where I can't hardly read it. I got to have a magnifying glass to actually see my screen. So now what we need to do is set up all the Google Chrome and all that other stuff, and and that's stuff that's already on the internet. Of course, what I've already done is on the internet, so you guys don't need to know all that. You pretty much got everything that you're going to get out of me. So we're going to set you up here, and we'll chat a little bit. Now I got to get my Bison icon on there, and the way I do that, since I have all my pictures that I want on Facebook, I'll just set up my Google, and once I got my Google going, then I just go to Facebook and download them onto this computer. And instead of having to take hard drives back and forth, yeah, I just do it that way. And we'll get the Bison logo on the screen. Now I'm thinking serious about removing these monitors and putting them somewhere else in a different orientation. That may mean that I have to take this plywood out and put a wider one in to go out to the edge of the cabinets, so that I can kind of rearrange it. I want to move this monitor over a little bit so that I can see it from in that direction. Right now it's kind of a pain in the butt. You know, I've got the keyboard here and I kind of breaking my neck to see everything, so I kind of want to get it over here a little bit further, but I don't want to get it so far that I ain't got room for my printer, because I'm going to put a printer here too. That way if I'm out here and I want to print out you know, stuff like this to, you know, show dimensions on something and measurements and whatever. And look at the difference in that page. One's got overspray on it from these lathes and the other one don't. That's funny. So there you have the completed Bison workshop. And I did use this drawer for my keyboard. It's the right height. I can just sit here on my bench and make a bunch of noise. So I think that hard drive is going to work okay. That other one, it's just too old. There should be a date on these things, and the guy that I got this computer off of said that there's a date on them. I have yet to see dates on any of these hard drives, unless I'm just not looking at it and I'm not seeing it. Oh yeah, okay. Wow, 2005, man. This hard drive is 11 years old. No, 12 years old. See, 5, 6. Yeah, 12 years old, man. And it's still kicking. It's slow, but it's kicking. So that's a Max Store. Diamond Max Plus 9. 160 gigabyte SATA drive. Yeah, that thing's old. So we'll just use that for storage or something like that. I don't know, I might just put it online for sale. Get $5 out of it. So I just took a old drive out and put a new one in it, and eventually I'll get another drive to put in it. I don't think I'm ever going to eat up a terabyte drive in the shop. Most of my stuff is done in the office, so this is not my office. This is going to be turned into a desk right here. I'm going to remove all the tools, all the clutter, and we're going to make this our desk. And the drum lathe and the rotor lathe are for sale. I've got them up for $800 for both of them, the stand and all the attachments. And in the meantime, while I'm trying to sell them, and it's starting to look like it's going to be a task just selling those things. I can't believe that nobody wants these lathes. unless it's just because I'm selling it. I don't know. It's starting to feel personal. I've had this up ever since I restored them on Craigslist, and not one person has asked about them. Well, no, I can't say that. One person asked about them, and he wanted to trade me something stupid for it. So, I don't know. I think I made a bad deal when I got this these lathes. I can't understand why they're not selling. So, I may have just made a bad deal. So, anyway, I'll let you guys get off of here and go do something better. I'm sure you got better things to do than to sit and watch me ramble on. So, you guys have a good one, and look for the next video on the bandsaw, and hopefully that will be the last video for the bandsaw. If I can get this one running fairly decent the way I like it, and get it set up the way I want, I may just go ahead and buy the new blade guide bearings and just put new bearings on it, and I think that should take care of it. I like that motor on it. It's quieter, because before, when you ran that bandsaw, you couldn't even hear yourself think. So with that old AC motor on it, and then I'll just turn around and sell that AC motor for $5 to somebody, or $10, and tell them it has issues. So don't forget to support your favorite Bison workshop by hitting that button on the right hand side here for helping the channel out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, make a comment, tell me what you think, and you guys have a good one. Later.